Hi guys, it's me, Star Lordess. I'm here to talk to you today a little bit about astrology. Okay, first of all, I'd like to say welcome back to all my regular viewers and welcome aboard to any new viewers. I wanted to talk to you guys today about Jupiter and a phrase I coined a while ago. I call it the final descent. Okay, right now it's mainly affecting Scorpios, Sagittarius, and Capricorn because we are the three signs right now in various stages of what I call the final descent. Now, I'll explain to you why I call it that. Many years ago when I first got into astrology, I was learning all about Jupiter and its transit through the 12 signs. It starts off with Aries and goes all the way through to Pisces and then starts all over again. Now, what I have found is that because when Jupiter moves into our sign, it starts like a brand new cycle for us, right? So when we're moving through this, I kind of feel like it's a plane taking off. So we start off when Jupiter moves into our sign and we start our ascent upwards, and we have sort of brand new foundations that we are building on, and this moves us through the years, through this 12-year cycle. And then I find in the final 3 years, which is what I call the final descent, when it's like we're coming to a landing from that 12-year cycle. And in the first year, it affects us in our career, and the second year it affects us in our friendships and people around us, and the third year is kind of our quiet year. It's the last year before we start a brand new cycle again. For example, right now Jupiter is in Libra, so the Libras have just gone through this, just completed as of last fall, completed their final descent, and they are now on the building blocks of going up and starting a brand new 12-year cycle. Now for Scorpios are in the final year of the final descent. Now, as of October 10th of this year, Jupiter will be moving into Scorpio. So this is kind of, since it moved into Libra in September of last year, it's Scorpio's last year of, I kind of equate it to the tarot card, the Hermit. It's a time where Scorpios are sort of meant to go within and sort of assess everything that's kind of happened to them throughout the last 12 years, and this final year is about assessing that, putting things to rest, and regenerating and getting ready for the brand new cycle that is about to come upon them in October of this year. Well, Sagittarians are in their second year, and Capricorns are in their first year. That's why I mentioned the other two signs. So the reason I'm feeling compelled to discuss this Jupiter transit with you guys is because I've noticed a lot of Scorpios have been in quite a difficult and challenging few years. They've been facing a few years. These last 3 years have been extremely difficult. They've been difficult for a lot of signs in a lot of ways, as there's a lot of things going on astrologically right now, a lot of planets in retrograde and so forth, which has been messing with pretty much all the signs right now. But Scorpios in particular have been having a really difficult time due to the final descent. And in your final year, you're a little bit fed up. It's like you're used to going against the grain. It seems like things fall apart in your final 3 years. Anything that isn't meant to remain in your life for your brand new cycle has to fall away. And sometimes we don't want these things to fall away, but they have to, because the universe or our higher selves or whoever it is just wants this energy cleared away so that we can start fresh when our brand new cycle comes about. It's been particularly hard for a lot of the signs. Libra and Virgo, I believe, just came out of their final descent. And there's also an added element here because of Saturn. Saturn will be moving into Capricorn in December of this year, which will also help Scorpios out as well. Because of the fact that Scorpios have been dealing with Saturn in Sagittarius, which is their house of finance. And Saturn is like a very strict teacher. And what it teaches us can sometimes be extremely difficult. You can't get away with a lot when you have Saturn in your financial house, because of the fact that any errors that you make or any ways that you have of usually dealing with your financial things can all of a sudden not work anymore, because Saturn's trying to teach you a new way of dealing with things. It can make it very challenging. So for the sign of Scorpio, we've been dealing with double aspects on that. So between the Jupiter's final descent and also Saturn being in our house of finance has really wreaked havoc on a lot of lives of Scorpios. And the reason I'm telling you guys this is because I have found it really helpful in the past when I've spoke to other people around me, when I started noticing Jupiter's intense effect on the astrological signs. And when I started tracking it and I started noticing from the people around me and their astrological signs and how it was affecting them and myself as well, I noticed that once I was aware of it and made others aware of it, it seemed a little bit easier because of the fact that you know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. The problem with the years being in the final descent years is that we have a tendency to think that we may have screwed everything up and that it's our fault and that it's never going to get any better. Because it can feel that way. The energies can feel extremely heavy. They're very challenging at times, but trust me, it's for a good reason. And there is a light at the end of the tunnel. The universe is not out to get anyone, although it does feel that way from time to time, I can assure you. Every sign goes through it at some point. Everyone goes through it. It's sort of like the cycle of the astrological life. There's these several cycles we will go through. It's going to affect people differently depending upon age group and so forth and things that you're dealing with. However, I just want to make you guys aware of the fact that this energies that you're dealing with, particularly Scorpios, because you're at the tail end of this, please don't get discouraged, because this will be coming to its conclusion by the end of this year. A lot of these heavy energies and challenging energies that Scorpios have been dealing with will be coming to an end and get a brand new, fresh start. As well as Sagittarians are in their second year. They still have another year. They'll be entering in October. They'll be entering into their quiet time where they'll be getting ready for their brand new cycle. And then we'll follow Capricorn and so on and so on. This is a never-ending cycle, and it's something we can't really avoid. It's there. It's part of life. It's part of our challenges and things that we're meant to deal with. So don't lose hope ever when it comes to final descent. Please just check out where you're at, whatever sign you are, and see, because if you are in the final descent, like I said, it can feel extremely challenging, but there is hope. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. And I say this because it's helped so many people that I've told over the years, because they were struggling with a lot of different things and dealing with things that were coming to an end in their life, and they felt it was their fault. They felt it was bad karma and all kinds of things happening to them. It really isn't. It's just about a clearing of energy of things that no longer need to be in our lives anymore, because we need to start fresh and start brand new. And believe me, Scorpios, come next year, it's going to be a whole different ballgame. Okay, I hope that this helped you, And if you'd like to know any more about it, please feel free to email me, leave me a comment, and we can further discuss it. Okay, until next time, you guys take care.